Hello and welcome to another Dela's Voice. Today's guest, Medea Kalin. She is a Reiki master and practitioner. She's an award-winning author of a new children's book series called Honey Cake. Medea was inspired to write these books when she became a grandmother. Her stories are all based on her own family, whose members come from many ethnic backgrounds. The unique mix is a perfect recipe, and it's the reason, that she calls her grandchildren her little honey cakes. Medea has written 4 books so far, all best-selling books, all filled with heartwarming stories and life skills for our children to learn when they're young, and because that's when it counts. So it is my pleasure to bring Medea on Dela's Voice. I've been waiting a long time for this interview, and so I'm very excited. So welcome, Medea.
Thank you so much, Dela. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on your show and being back with you reunited. And I just want to do a quick shout out here. Happy Father's Day to all the amazing dads out there. My husband is Sandier. Chris, my stepfather, it's also his birthday. Happy birthday, Christy. And then my son-in-law, Brandon, of course, and so many other family members and all the moms who are doing dual work as mom and dad. Happy Father's Day to all these special people.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for reminding me to wish everybody happy.
No
Medea,
problem.
thank you so much for being here. We've had a talk before on a different podcast, so I know a little bit about you. And I through the past month or so that I have known you, I've gotten a glimpse of what you are all about. And I got to tell you, you're such an energetic person. You are just such a blessing to this world. You're filled with light and love. Like the amount of love you have for everybody around you, and the you know the capacity in which you spread that love around. It's mind blowing. I want to first of all acknowledge you for that. It's so nice to see. Thank you. So so let's get back to you. Okay. So let's introduce you to the audience who doesn't know you, perhaps. What's your background? Where'd you come from? And
absolutely.
how did you get here?
Okay. Well, it starts with the
Only
birds
got
and the
1
bees.
hour, by the way.
No, thank you. Thank you. I actually immigrated here. I was born in Georgia, south of Russia, and I came here when I was 4 years old. I have 3 sisters, and they're all beautiful, divine queens of their own right, and they're all doing their contribution to the world. And my mom is another person who has the oldest college in Ottawa, Willis Business College, and she's leading cybersecurity right now, and she's women of leaders and all that going on. So she's a prime example of an amazing woman. I've been married to my husband as Sandier for now 29 years. He immigrated from Iran. He's Persian. We have 2 beautiful children, our daughter Shanaz, who's 28, and our son Jandiar, who is 27. And Shanaz is the reason I came to write these books, because in 2018, she told me she was pregnant. And when I found out the news, I was so excited and so elated that I started to bake a honey cake in honor of my Debbie, my grandmother, who taught me how to bake a honey cake when I was a child. And it was a full circle moment for me. And when I was making the cake and I was thinking of all the different ingredients and, with the cloves and the cinnamon and the nutmeg and coffee and all this rich, delicious ingredients. I was thinking of my future grandchild because, like, I'm from Georgia, my husband's Persian, but my daughter's fiance, Brandon, is Guyanese and Jamaican. So now this child is going to be all these different ethnicities. So, and that's how I was inspired. It was like source love, God, if you will, because I never ever envisioned of being a writer. Have no educational background in literature or anything like that. So it was never in my future that I thought I was going to be a writer. But when I found I was going to be a grandmother, I was inspired, and the Honey Cake was the title. That's how the title came about. And I wrote 5 books in 4 days, like just written all these stories because it's all part of our family. It's like the books are actually about our family. The only fictional character in the book is Nala, the main little girl, because when I wrote the books, Shanaz was pregnant. I didn't know what she was having, but she ended up having a little boy. His name is Lokenzo Cal Karaya. He's 15 months old now, and he's just the apple of my eye. He's such a blessing in our lives. He's such a wise soul and a wonderful teacher because I truly feel that children are here to teach us and we're here to learn from them as well. So, yeah, so I wrote these books, and, like I said, it's actually all our entire family. And in how the stories are going is that in the first book, the grandmother, which is me, teaches Nala how to bake a honey cake. And she's explaining how each delicious ingredient in the honey cake represents a different family member with her or his unique ethnic background. So, but the beautiful message of this book is that, especially right now with what's going on in the world, with all the negativity about race and culture and all that, this books are timely needed because we have to infuse love and kindness out into the world because without this, the universe won't change into a positive direction. So the main message of this book is that no matter where you come from, what color your skin is, we're all one race, and that's the human race. So it's more than a recipe, it's a recipe for life. And there is a recipe at the back how to make your own honey cake. So,
It's awesome.
so it's
So
really delicious.
right to our kids as they grow up in this mixed society where we're all here from all sorts of different places in life, and it's such
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're all honey cakes. We all have a little bit of spice in us, right? And that's the beauty of the book and to explain that. So it's a great book for parents to pick up to teach children about diversity. So, and as you said before in the intro, I am a Reiki master and practitioner. It's all about spreading love and light and helping people reach their highest level of good. So, my second book is called Help I Swallow the Butterfly. And it's a play on words because Nala goes to school, she's about to present in class, and she freezes up and she gets really nervous. And the teacher goes, "It's okay, Nala, you just have butterflies in your stomach." But she's a child, she doesn't understand what that means. So she runs home and she tells her mom, "Help, I swallow butterflies." But the mom in the story, of course, is Shanaz, and she actually tells her true life story of how when she used to be a national level athlete, how she froze up on the floor and when she was about to do a floor routine, forgot her floor routine completely. So, it's a great way of teaching children these beautiful lessons. So it's a step-by-step lesson how to do deep breathing exercising, how to do meditation, how to do mindfulness with uh, envisioning having a positive day. So visualizing and having intentions. So it's a great little book to introduce children to mindfulness because how important is that in life? Life is stressful at any age, but with the right tools and mindset, we can overcome any obstacle, right? Because I didn't start meditating until I was in my 40s. And I know my children, and I'm sure the same with you, Dela, right? If you didn't start. So imagine if we gave these tools to our kids now when there's little, because by the time they become adolescents, by the time when life's a little bit more challenging, they can say, "No, I can take deep breaths to calm myself down. I can center myself and know that everything's going to be okay," right? So it's really important to have these tools at a young age.
what's the so I mean absolutely, as you're saying that, I'm like, I only learned this stuff like in the past few years. um
Same.
And so how cool would it be for this to become the new norm? I mean, we have all these wonderful stories, all the
Absolutely.
classics, the Cinderellas, the Snow Whites, where the book teaches about magic and dreaming and kindness and all that. But it's time to bring in a little bit more the new life skills that are required
Absolutely.
in life today.
Absolutely.
I totally agree
Absolutely.
with what you're saying.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the button because as much as these books are here to inspire, here to empower, here to entertain, here to educate, and it's also teaching valuable life lessons, as you said. So the third book with the magic, you segue right into it. It's called Special Magical Powers. And it's the powers we all have inside us, which is kindness. Because kindness is a gift we can all afford to give, right? And she goes on this wonderful adventure with her grandmother and Uncle JD going to a shelter where she's donating her unused clothes and toys to all the little boys and girls who have lost these things, in, whether it's tragedy or homelessness or whatever. So it's introducing that kind of important topic to children because a lot of kids don't know that they just think that everybody's the same. Everybody has a home, everybody, but there are children out there who are struggling. There are families out there that are struggling. But then also she's teaching beautiful life lessons like, if you smile at people, it lights them up. I always say that people are like candles. And when you see someone walking and they're having a bad day, you just look at them and you just give them this beautiful smile filled with love. They can't help but smile back. So then you're lighting them up. And guess what? That's contagious. They start smiling, this everybody else, gets lit up with their smiles, right? And then little things like, having your manners, saying please and thank you, or opening a door. We're kind of forgetting about all these basic values, that it's kind of been lost a little bit, I think, this day and age. And it's also the gift of giving, teaching children the gift of giving, because it's not about once a year donating once a year, to make it a lifestyle, to make it a normal thing, because like I said, kindness is a gift we can all afford to give. So teaching those valuable lessons to children.
That's
And
awesome.
then, yeah, thank you. And then my
Lydia,
fourth book, was just released.
before I don't want to
Yeah,
interrupt you.
yeah,
Please
yeah.
keep your thoughts. I just want to make sure that as many people as possible are watching us. So could you make sure that you are sharing this interview
Yes,
on your Facebook? I don't know if you have access to
sure,
that.
no problem. My
Thank you.
pleasure.
And
Pause for technicals.
this interview,
Okay.
watching this, like share this video, please, with people who have kids. That you
Yes,
benefit from the teachings of Medea's
yes,
book because when I mean, instead of giving a toy or something like that, wouldn't it be great if you just you bought a book like this and you gave it to someone who
right.
has kids? Because I remember how important reading to my son was when he was little. He loved it. He actually looked forward to it every single night.
Absolutely.
Kids love hearing stories read to them. So, imagine teaching them life skills, life lessons as you reading them these books. And then it
Absolutely.
intrinsic, it becomes part of who they are. Okay,
Absolutely. And
I
I
think
love that you mentioned that because that was actually one of my posts because cards these days can go anywhere from $9 to $15, like greeting cards. And most
what do we do with
people,
them?
pardon me,
What do we do with cards? We throw them away.
exactly. Or I like to reuse them and make something else out of it because I try to find creative ways. But that's right. But you know what? Get a book for these children. Write their message that you want to write for them in the front cover. And then when they pick up the book, they'll always remember you. Say, oh, this was a gift from so and so. And how treasurable they would treasure this memory of this book. And it's something they can always have. So let's go into the fourth book. It was just released in May. It's called A Circle of Trust. So, how important is to build a safe space for your children at an early age that they can come to you and talk to you about anything without judgment, without worry, without fear, without repercussion. So this is what it's about. It's about teaching children to have honest and open communication in a safe space. And the reason it's called a circle of trust, because, and there's an infinity circle, because love is unconditional. You know, the symbolism of a circle, it's never ending. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's ever never ending. And that's the symbolism of this. So, you know, when the kids are older, and they have more difficult topics to discuss, they don't have that fear of coming to their caregivers, whoever it is, their parents, grandparents, uncles, whoever they're living with, because they develop this communication, this safe space. This foundation is so important to build at a young age, you know, and plus then it helps them when they're older, because then if they're able to communicate and vocalize and feel that they have that empowering to speak their truth, this is an important foundation. And the other thing that's important is that although these are children's books and made for children from ages 3 to 9, you can read them from the time they're born, because the children are malleable unless they're taught otherwise. And it's also a little reminder for parents who forgot these little lessons in life, because we all get caught up, being a parent, a new parent, or dealing with life struggles and with bills to pay and dragging kids from one event to another. These books bring the kids together, and every single one is an activity you can do. One is baking, one is meditating, one is donating, and then of course the circle of trust is building boxes. So there's a metaphor, building blocks together. So any kind of activity, because I think we've lost that. We're all if they watch a movie, Netflix binge, whatever, and of course there's wonderful shows and stuff on, but we have to come back to doing activities with your children.
Awesome. This is, excuse me, woo. This is a good time. Excuse me, please. Oh my gosh, I got a little frog in my throat.
Okay.
I was going to say hi to some people who are watching.
Okay.
Christy, Ahmad Shah, Shima, thank you so much for watching. So you mentioned something really cool, and I like that. As adults, we forget things too. So as you're reading this book about building a circle of trust, it kind of reminds you of how important that is. And maybe it's something that we missed as kids, not having that circle of trust. But it's something that we can change, because we don't want to keep doing the same things our parents did. Not they did it wrong. I'm saying, if in order for things to change, we got to start with ourselves. So absolutely. I think you're coming from a very truthful place. So I was wondering, could you read a part of that book? Yeah, your favorite part of the book.
Okay. So
I'm hearing authors read their own books, because there's so much.
No problem. Let me see here. I think we're going to do the part where he's kind of doing the explanation. So give me 1 second here.
Awesome. I feel like a kid, Medea.
All right, let's do this part here.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Come sit down on the ground next to me and your mama, Papa said. You see how long it took us to build that tower piece by piece, but how quickly it got destroyed by one simple action? Nala nodded. Well, building trust and being honest takes a long time and a lot of hard work to build, just like that tower, said Papa. And it's really important that you are honest with us and never hide anything, so our trust will always be strong and never weak like that tower. That's right, sweetie, said Mama. We want you to know that you can come to us anytime and talk to us about anything. We will never get angry or upset with you, as long as you're honest and tell the truth. So I'll do one more little page here. Mama and Papa each took one of Nala's hands and took each other's hands to create a circle. You see the circle, Nala, said Papa? This is our circle of trust. It means you can come and talk to us about anything, and we can come and talk to you too. It's very important that we always have open communication and are honest and truthful about our feelings and talk openly if something ever goes wrong. So he's, he's teaching them that it goes two ways. It's not just about the kids having that open communication with their parents, but the parents able to talk to about their feelings openly with their children too. Because it's important, because we want to treat children as little human beings, not that we're more powerful, we're more wiser, but we're not equals because they have things to learn, but that they also have value with their insight and their input. And then at the end, it just says, which is my favorite part right here, my favorite part, where it says, with a circle of trust, there is no beginning and no end, which signifies that your love for one another is endless and will last forever. So that's what unconditional love is. It's no judgment, no beginning, no end. And that's so important because as parents, you know how you were saying about the conditioning about our old, from generation to generation? It's so true because we're imprinted. It's like this person used to make this meal and they would cut off one end and the other end. And they said, Mama, why do you do that? She goes, oh, because my grandmother taught me that. And then she goes to the grandmother, why do you cut off, from one end to another and then put it on the stove? Oh, because my mother taught me that. So in the past, we just followed what we were taught and we never really made changes. And the other thing is, like for myself, like if you didn't have a good childhood, for instance, you don't want to live through your children's, like through them. Like you don't want to say, oh, I want to be everything I never got to experience. We can't put that on our children. We can't put that expectation on our kids. It's so unfair to them. This is their moment. This is their life. We have to let them lead their life and become who are they meant to be, not who we want them to be. That's another important part of all these lessons is that let them flourish, let them discover who they want to be and color outside the lines and make their mistakes. And it's okay, because no one told us that, right? Before, you have to go to school, you have to get straight A's, you have to go to university. So that was the regimen that we were all taught. But it's time to break the cycle, like you said, and let children discover who they're meant to be and acknowledge them and empower them and just be part of all that. It's just so beautiful to me, I think, the change.
You're so right. You're so right. Children do as we do, and as parents, we think that we can just tell them to do something and do
Exactly.
something else ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Right. So I heard this from a very good teacher that we can start by treating kids as adults, just in small bodies, because they're just
Absolutely.
right. They're just like us, and so a lot
Exactly.
of we want to force what we think is right, what we think we should have done, or what we think is
Right.
the correct way. But no, like start the change with you. And I've seen that in my own life. As I've
Right.
changed myself, so has my son. And he notices those changes. Um, Thank you so much for this wonderful reading of your book. Now, have you had kids kind of respond to your books, react to your book? What are some of the reactions, Medea?
Absolutely. The first reaction, which I love, is not only by kids, by parents as well, because they love the books, but the fact that they all say, oh my gosh, this is like my family. I'm a honey cake, and this looks just like my family because there's no books out there that looks like their families. There's no books out there that showcases multicultural, diverse families. And teachers always said whenever they had diversity week at school, they always would be teaching with animals. There was actually no book. And my books not only teach valuable lessons, but it's not just about race, it's about valuable life lessons, right? And also showcasing that it takes a village to raise children. So it's not just your typical parents only, teaching a lesson. There's also the grandparents, the grandfather, the uncle, and then, it takes a village, right? So we have to, embody that. But the best part is that the kids were like, oh my goodness, like that's my family. And then, they feel that they don't, like they're not strange. There's a belonging. Because even my children, Shanaz and John Deere, growing up in Whitby, Ontario, because they're Georgian and Persian, they didn't look the norm. They looked very exotic. So everybody kept saying, like, what are you? Like, and they're like, we're human. What do you mean, what are we? I'm a human being. But they couldn't figure it out. And everybody always wants to check that box. Like when you go, like, to immigration and they say, are you black? Are you white? Are you, indigenous? Are you Asian? I say, I'm a human being.
Yeah, yeah, I get it.
That's right, because it's not about the color of your skin, people. When are we going to get that? It's that the fact that we're all one race, we're all light beings, we're here for a purpose. And we have to get that in our head, that we're here to spread love and be love ambassadors, and make a difference and make a change in this world.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I want to say hi to some other people that oh, I lost it. I lost it. Hello to everybody who's watching us.
Hello, everybody. Hello to all
Yeah,
my honey cakes. Hello, hello. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. The other thing is, parents used to tell me, I wish I had these books when I was a kid. There are so many people who are also mixed race, and they said, this would have been amazing. I wish I had this growing up. Or when they had little children, young children, raising them to have books like this. And then there was this one mom who messaged me and she said, my daughter was having such anxiety and such stress, but because she read the first book, she kind of got to know Nala and she loved Nala. When she came to the second book, to dealing with meditation, she completely zened out. She learned how to meditate. She listened to the lessons, because and now she's not as stressed anymore. She doesn't have anxiety anymore. How beautiful is that, that I'm part of this change to help someone, and that was my intention. Let's help people out there. Let's help our children when they're little, because by the time they're older, they'll be healthy, they'll be happy, they'll be balanced, they'll be kind, they'll be compassionate and loving human beings. And the fifth book that's coming out in November is called Counting All My Blessings, because we're teaching gratitude. Because we cannot have like a book without teaching gratitude, because we have to learn to be grateful, for all the little things in life, all the little miracles. When you wake up in the morning, I always say, thank you for another blessed day of being alive. Thank you that I could get up, I could take a shower, I have a home, I have a loving family, whatever it is. There's always so many things to be grateful for. Our heart is beating, we can breathe, we have clean air, we have water to drink. There's so many things that people take for granted. They all think it's about materialism, the bigger house, the latest smartphone, the whatever. It's just so much focus on materialism. And that book is teaching children to count their blessings, and to also teach them that, life lessons happen also when things don't go right. So we have to be grateful when things don't go right.
such a big lesson.
Right?
I mean, that's a big lesson for anyone, little or,
Absolutely.
but I think a lot of adults have trouble with that.
Yeah, because it's easy to be grateful when things are going amazing.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
when things aren't going right, because like I've said this before, but I always think life is about a journey. It's the journey up the mountain, and all the detours and all the falls and slip and the scrapes and the bruises that you get. That's the lessons we learn. That's the people. That's what shapes the people we become. It's not only about reaching, Mount Shamima or the highest mountain, whatever they are. It's not about the goal also reaching the goal. It's about the journey getting there. And that's the value of life, because life is ups and downs, right? And that's the beauty of
Ah, that's so good. That's so good.
it.
Yeah, what are some ups and downs in your life that you can share that's that have kept you inspired and have taught you lessons, life lessons?
Absolutely. So many of the ups and downs that I've had in my life is my struggle with my health. So when I was 32, I was diagnosed with a rare blood disorder, and it came on so quickly that the doctor said, say goodbye to your husband, say goodbye to your children, because you're just not going to make it. And um, it was like that moment where I had to make this conscious decision in my head that a doctor's not going to tell me that I'm not going to make it. I'm going to fight. And it was struggle. It was very difficult, not only for me, but for my children, because they were only grade 6 and grade 7 at the time. And, they only knew me. My husband was always working, owning his own business, and he was always gone. And I always said I got married to be a single mother because he was never around, but he was a provider at that time, right? And I was the one that was always with my children. And Shanaz was a high performance athlete, and John Deere had all his activities, and very involved with my kids, and also volunteer at their schools. So all of a sudden, my husband was forced now to have to do all of this because I was stuck in the hospital for almost 3 years, back and forth. I had um, I had a central line put in. I couldn't do anything because the medication was so strong. I got so swollen so quickly. They couldn't see my eyes. They couldn't see my lips. Like it was bleeding all the time. Like I gained 150 pounds so quickly because the medication was on 250 mils of prednisone every day. So that was a challenge for me because it's one thing when you're dealing with your own issues, like, but watching your family struggle gives you such, like, you feel guilty. You feel guilty for putting them through that. But at the same time, I looked at it as a life lesson that, look, they brought them closer together. My kids and my husband became closer unity. I learned that, what? They can go on. I don't have to do everything. I can allow my husband to do all the work because I think I was a bit of a control freak. I was like controlling everything all the time, like, no, 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 you're not going to do it right. Let me do it. It wasn't that he wasn't doing it right. He wasn't doing it my way.
Oh,
So
that's
that was a life
a
lesson.
big struggle for so many people, Medea, the control.
Yes.
Okay, so keep going.
So the health has been an ongoing issue. And then like with finances, like, we had successful business, couple businesses, and then all of a sudden everything was gone. Everything was lost. Um, we're, we were in a lawsuit and dealing with stuff like that. And it's like, it made us humble because again, it wasn't about the huge 3,000 square foot home we had and, the buildings and again, the materialism. I said, we're all in this house. We're all safe. We're all healthy. That's what matters in life. So gratitude has brought such different perspective in my life, I find, that I don't sweat the small stuff anymore. Nothing bothers me. It's like, it's okay, because there's always something to be grateful for. No matter what, at the end of the day, there's something to be grateful for. And then again, like this September, I had a surgery. It didn't go well at all. The surgery got botched. I got internal bleeding. I was put on blood transfusions, ongoing health issues. So, but to me, that's just telling me again, I need to maybe slow down. I need to take care of myself. What is it that I'm not doing properly to look after myself? So people look at it as a victim mentality. Why me? Why does this happen? Right? We all do that, right? When things don't go right in our lives. And these are, I always say they're challenges because we rise to the occasion. We're overcome these challenges in life and we have to look at it that way. And there's always a lesson to learn from every single thing. And, you know, we have to remember that, tomorrow's not promised to anyone. So we have to make this moment, this time, be present and enjoy it because you don't know what tomorrow brings. So be kind, be good, because no one's going to remember what you had, how many millions you had, how many movies you made, how many books you. They're going to remember the feeling you left behind. How you made them feel? What did you do to impact them? What did you do to inspire them? And that is what I'm hoping to do with my books, with my Reiki, whatever I do. I try to always leave an imprint of, I hope I made your life better today. I hope whatever I do, whether it's just me just loving you and sending you my love and hugging you or kissing you or giving you this valuable lesson with my books, whatever it is, I hope I impacted it for the higher good.
And you do that every day, I tell you. People are watching Farahna, Samapur, Navid Hassani, Steve Esfandiar. Is that your husband?
That's my husband.
You're lucky.
I'm lucky one too. He's a wonderful husband, a wonderful grandfather.
I'm sure.
Wonderful human being.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day, my love.
So what? So you touched on this a little bit.
Yes.
What do you want your legacy to be, Medea?
I just really, my legacy is just to leave an imprint of a movement towards change, a movement towards change for a better tomorrow. Because if I can be part of that movement, which I want to tell you about a collaboration I want to tell you about, sorry. I collaborated with this amazing uh, company called I Dare You to Be. It's an online global movement allowing children, teachers, parents to have the resources for free where they can come on and they can take classes. So right now they have summer camp for free. The kids can log on to because of the epidemic going on with COVID and no classes and no schools. I'm collaborating with these wonderful people, with Alana, with Audrey, with Simone, with Fatima and Nina, who created I Dare You to Be. And it's a change for a better tomorrow. Like it's a developing kid to be kind. Like that's their motto. Like that's their motto. And I'm like, I'm totally in line with these people. It's so beautiful. So I will be an author on where I'll be doing readings. I will be doing webinars, parent webinars, whatever it is they need me to do, I will be there. And I'm so excited to be on this platform with them because I think it's going to make a difference in this world. I really do, because change starts with a movement, right? We can't just stay still. We have to make that movement.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a little podcast called The Butterfly Effect.
I know. I've watched you on it. So wonderful. I love it.
I think that's the reasoning behind the name, because big change starts with a small change.
That's
So
right.
I can see how this could be so beneficial in the lives of so many. So I dare
you to be.
I
I
dare.
dare you to be.
Okay.
So it's daring you to be the best version of yourself. And then what they're doing is they have the I dare you to be for SK to like grade 7. And then I dare you to lead for grade 7 to like grade 12.
Oh,
Teaching kids to be good leaders in life too, right? And like I said, it's a free online resource. You can go log on right now. They have sign up for online camps, and there's arts and there's story time and there's so many activities. There's parenting and teachers and everything. It's all these wonderful resources. And their theme song is like, we need change. Kindness is needed now more than ever. And that's the theme song. I love it. Like, kindness is everywhere. It's just so beautiful. I just love the song. I'm not going to sing it.
But now, and it's free and everybody can log in and
just go to the website, log in, sign up right now while there's space, because they're having online summer camps starting in July, and it's free. And it's absolutely free for your children.
What a great idea. Wow, that's amazing. And I think I'm seeing this more and more, Medea. I don't know what your take is on this, but it seems like through this pandemic, our ways have changed. Now we're looking for giving more kindness, giving more time, giving more value, giving more content, giving our experience, sharing what we already know with the rest of the world. What do you think? What was your take on this?
I agree so wholeheartedly with this, because the one gift that we have been given is time. Because how many times have you been busy? A lot of people so busy running from one job to another, or taking their kid from one event to another event, just jam packed with stuff, and you never have time to decompress and spend time together, or even go within and learn more about yourself. Take a moment to actually learn something new. You never have that. People say, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Guess what? You were given the time. What are you going to do with that time? This was a gift. Did you rise above and accept this gift and say, I'm going to be the best version of myself? I'm going to do something amazing with this. Or are you just going to be wallowing yourself and say, oh, this is terrible, when is this going to be over? So it weeds out, you know, the people who are meant to shine are shining right now. They're shining so nice and beautifully. And the people who aren't, where hopefully we can pick them up on the way and lift them up as well, because we have to be kind to everyone. You know, whatever the situation is, we have to just show kindness and compassion, because that's what the world needs: kindness, compassion, and love. I always say that my church is love, my religion is kindness.
Your
Like that
religion.
is what, right? My church is love, my religion is kindness. And of course, I believe in God because I'm spiritual, but it's just, you know, kindness. And you have to also learn about self love, because it all starts with ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, how are we going to love with, like, love someone else? You know, we have then expectations, right?
It's such a simple concept, but one that I struggled with personally for years. What are you talking about? If you can't get love yourself, it's selfish to love
Yeah.
yourself. You love everybody first, but then you realize as you get wiser that really the true meaning of that is, if you don't love yourself, you have no love for others, and so
No.
much truth in that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why, like, when you're on a plane, you know, the stewardess or the flight attendant, I don't know the proper terminology, I'm sorry,
But that,
says, like, flight
that's
attendant, thank you. Okay. The flight attendant says, please put the mask on yourself first before, because if you can't be okay, how can you help someone else? We need to learn to put the mask on ourselves first. And it's not selfish. It's not, and that's what we have to get that stigma out of our heads, that it's selfish to say, I need me time. I need a break. I need to disconnect. And we have to learn to unplug, guys. Like, you know, have no phone free, TV free. Like, you need to unplug. I know, but we have to do it once in a while. Once in a while, we have.
you're so right. We need to be able to do that for
Yeah,
sure.
once in a while, we have to do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, what are some things that are helping you stay motivated? I mean, you're still writing. It's awesome. First of all, I want to know. No, let's ask you this. My original question: how do you keep
Okay.
motivated? And then I'll go to my other question.
How it is?
Yes, how do you keep motivated? How do you keep going? How do you keep
Well,
yourself inspired?
because every day is a new experience. It's so exciting when you wake up in the morning, you say, oh, I wonder what I'm going to learn today. I wonder what I'm going to experience today. So every day is experience. It might not be the good, you know, like what we think is good or what we think is bad, that, you know, because that's all conditioning thinking. Who says what's good, what's bad, right? But it's all an experience of what's going to happen today. Today, I was so excited. I'm like, I got to be with Dad. Woo! I'm so excited.
Right? So I wonder, you're so right, because it's an adventure, right? It's like an adventure.
Yeah,
When you think
it
about it,
is.
when you go for a camping trip, you're packing up, you're doing everything you can, you're ready, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know
No,
if you're going to meet a bear there. You know if you're going to be able
got a
to
flat tire.
ride. Exactly. So, that's all the journey. As you were talking, let's not
Right.
concentrate so much on the destination, because we can totally forget to enjoy the journey if we do.
Absolutely. Like our beginning, you know, we were having technical difficulties on one platform, so we had to switch gears. But you know, at the end, we're still together. We're still putting our message together. We're still sending love. You know, that's what's at the end that matters. We got to where we need to go, but we're learning, and we're, you know, just don't sweat the small stuff. That's the major thing, is that I had to realize. Don't sweat the small stuff, and stop trying to feel like everything has to be perfect or your way. You know, just let things be, because it all works out at the end no matter what. Everybody's gonna be safe, everybody's gonna be fine, you know. So, and then of course for me is like, to help me keep me motivated every morning. Of course, I do my gratitude and my prayer every morning and say thank you to God for all my blessings. I do that in the morning and in the evening. I do my meditation, you know, and I do my walks every day, especially with the 30-day miracle challenge. Like you have to do your 10-minute a day walking and water because you forget to get out of the house sometimes when you get too busy. Um, but just like I said, decompressing, disconnecting, even if it's just 10 minutes, just to center yourself, bring back, because I feel when you're quiet and you're still, that's when all the inspiration comes, right? How about you? Like,
That's
do you
when
feel
magic.
that?
That's when magic happens.
Right,
Yes.
that's when magic happens. And, life is so magical, because life is but a dream. That's what I would say.
It's good. It's good because we can be very busy, um, busy with thoughts, busy with friends, busy with family, busy with work, busy with deadlines, and not fulfilled,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
It's because we
Absolutely.
don't take that little bit of time for ourselves to find the magic.
That's right.
Yeah, you're so right. Oh yeah, I like it. So hi Rosemary. Hi, my friend Sharon is watching as well. Hello everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm talking to my dear Medea Kalin, the best-selling author of a new children's series book called Honey Cake book series. And okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
Uh, what is your advice to someone who's thinking perhaps about writing a children's book?
Well, my advice is be authentic. Don't try to be like anyone else. Write what, because then if you write how you truly feel and what your mission of whatever the storyline is, it would just flow. It will come out. Magic will happen, and the right people will see it. So, first of all, don't be afraid. You gotta rise up to fear and just do it. Write your story because everyone has a story to share. Everyone has a story inside of them, and even one person hears that story and you help that one person, then it's wonderful. That's what's meant to be. It's not only about becoming a selling author or whatever. It will happen eventually if your intention is pure and you're not trying to do it for the wrong reasons and you're adding value. It's like a fantasy story or something that's valuable, a lesson, whatever it is, the right people will find it. As long as it's authentic, it's coming from the right place.
I love it. I love it. And you think everybody has a story in them, and sometimes
Absolutely.
you know I have in the past thought, oh, I don't know who's gonna want to read about me. I'm not. What do I have to offer? But you're so right because it's your personal story. It's your own unique story. There is
That's right.
no one on planet Earth that has your story, and if they have a similar story, still not your story, and
That's
they
right.
can
Because we're
never.
all like fingerprints. We're all like fingerprints, unique and individual.
Yeah,
Every person is like a fingerprint.
and you got to tell your story because no one else can say it like you do. No one
Right.
has lived your story. It's
That's
so
right.
it's so good. And if it's just not fair to die with your story untold because you're doing the world and the
And
service.
injustice. And just yeah, exactly, exactly. So if there is a story, because your story could be someone else's survival guide.
That should go into a quote, Medea. Serious. I'm serious. Okay.
Right? Your
Copyright.
story could
Copyright.
because it's true, your story can be someone else's survival guide because when they read your story and they're like, oh my God, this is exactly how I feel. This is my feelings, and they're too ashamed to say it out loud. Or I've experienced this, and then they would feel they're not alone. They don't feel like this uh, person that's just different than everyone else. You know what I mean? They don't have that stigma of shame. So it's important to put your story out there because, like I said, even if you help one person, that one person can make such a difference in the world, you know, just like smiling, you know, when you smile at someone, you change their day from bad to good just by simple action. And that's what you need. You got to take the emotion out, like I said before, like fear or negative self talk, and put it into motion. Get up and do it. Just get up and do it. There's so many ways to do it. I didn't have that luxury. I never, because I wasn't thinking of being a writer. So I didn't have that um, anxiety of, oh my God, how am I going to do it? It just happened, you know. I was very blessed that way that like I said, I was channeling these messages from God, and it just happened. The words just flowed out of me. But I think it's because I'm living it. Like, you know, every single story is truthful and it's real, it's authentic. And I wasn't trying to be like anyone else because I didn't even know there was books like anyone else. Like I didn't have anything to compare with. And that was the funny part with interviews. People say like, who do you look up to? What, you know, what authors? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I did do my research on that. Like who I look up to is my gurus, like, you know, Deepak Chopra and Oprah and Katie Byron, and then, you know, like all these, you know, Maya Angelou, like the people that giving me purpose, but it wasn't because of the children's books, it's just giving me purpose. So yeah, I had no one to compare it to because I never did that. And that's the point of my message. It's like, don't try to be like anyone else, be authentically you.
Be yourself. That's the only way, being yourself.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're meant to be. Just be yourself.
So freeing, Medea. Being yourself is so freeing, you know, not
It is so free.
it's so freeing. So
Yeah,
freeing.
because we all wear these masks of who people think we should be. Take it off. Be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Uh, so, my dear Medea, what's next for you? And you're writing the book on gratitude, and what's next after that?
So I am, like I said, I'm collaborating with I Dare You to Be. So it's going to be a very busy summer. And I don't even know like how far this is going to go because I said, whatever you need from me, use me. I'm there. Like when schools are back, maybe I'll be going to schools and stuff like that. I'm writing the fifth book, which will be coming out in November. I have a chapter in Magnetic Entrepreneur with COVID-19 lockdown. And I'm also on Parent Unite, which is a private Facebook group where I do readings. And people can come in and see me do my readings for my children's book. And just living my best life is really it. Just living my best life, being a mom, being a wife, being a grandma with my wonderful grandson. You know, I just love it. Just is such a blessing in my life. And, you know, being this moment with you, like, you know, so excited and so happy. I can't wait to see you and actually in person and give you a hug.
I
Meet
know,
up for coffee.
I know, right? I know. You missed that. So you're
Yeah,
living your passions, Medea.
yeah,
Are you?
I am. I
Oh,
am. I am living my passion because that's what we're here for. We're here to live our life to the fullest and be, I always say I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel here to serve. I'm here to serve for humankind for the better and higher good. Whether it's through my Reiki, where I do energy healing, whether it's through my children's books, whether it being a, you know, like I said, a friend, a daughter, a husband, a wife, sorry, not a husband, a wife, you know, a grandmother, whatever it is meant to be, being the best version of myself and enjoying every moment because you know, like I said, it's we have to enjoy every single moment in this life because tomorrow's not promised to anyone.
all right. We only get one. We only get one life. I mean, this life as we know it. We only get one chance at life, and so unfortunate if we let it go to waste. It's so unfortunate if we spend it in regret and
Yeah,
sadness. And
yeah.
so, what advice do you have for someone who's listening to this and maybe they're you know they're finding themselves in a dark moment, right? Maybe they're
Yeah.
finding themselves in a dark mood and they feel like you know there's no hope, they're in despair. What can you leave with today that can lift them up?
Well, first of all, the word hope is my favorite word because hope means it means H is for help, what does it mean? What is that? Hope. HOPE. Hold
One.
on. Sorry. Hold on. It says hold on, pain ends. That's what hope stands for. Apologize. So I love the word hope because, like I said, everything can change in an instant. Instant. Um, First of all, acknowledge your feelings. It's very normal to feel this way. If you have to write it out, write out your feelings out loud, because when you take it out of yourself, you put it onto paper, you're removing the power, because you get to say it all. Spew out all the ugliness that you think without hiding it. Spew out everything, because you have to purge, you have to release it, and then burn it. Because by burning it, you're saying, this now, I release these feelings because these are not real, because we play this movie in our head. We make up these stories that are not actually true. And we make ourselves believe it's true, and it's actually not true. So it's shifting your perspective of how you look at things. So, and if you need help, go get the help you need, whether it's actual professional help with a psychiatrist, or if it's a spiritual help, whether it's energy clearing, like for myself, like if you come to me and you need, because what happens is that we can have pain in our life, physical pain that can manifest because if we had traumas, whether it's childhood or whatever it is, it actually can go into our body and we have physical pain. And then the doctor thinks it's idiopathic. They don't know. They just throw drugs at it because they don't know why you're in pain, but you're not releasing it. You have all these chakras that are blocked. And if they're blocked and they're not released, you have all this dark energy swarming around you. So find someone that can help you, if you can go that way or that way, and then get the help you need. And it's so important. Take the step. Take the first step. First thing is writing it all down, writing down your darkness, writing down all your dark energies, and then releasing it. And then forgiveness. Forgiveness with the people who harmed you, the people you think you harmed, and forgive yourself and forgive God, because sometimes we blame the higher power too. So forgiveness is also key. So love, forgiveness, and gratitude are the three main ingredients in life, I think, that we all need to have.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Medea.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you for those beautiful words. And I agree with you. Hope is the biggest thing, especially when you're going through a rough time. Um, having hope can get us through, and sharing what's going on with the right people, so that you know that the support is there,
That's
and
right.
there are other people who understand you, and
Right.
maybe they've gone through the same thing, and just to
That's right.
see that you're not alone, that brings so much hope.
Absolutely. Finding your inner circle, finding your circle of trust that you can be authentically you and feel safe, finding that space, whether it's with a person or with a group, whatever it is, but take that step and find it. So, but yeah, I also want to say that I have a special surprise for you and your audience.
Surprise
I am going to
surprises.
give all four of my books, plus a book bag, plus some other little things, autographed to your one of your member of your audience that shares this podcast the many times. And in 2 days, you can calculate who shared the most, and I will send it to them, fully autographed with a whole bunch of little gifts inside. So that's my gift today to your audience.
Okay, so whoever shares this um this podcast, this
Yes,
show, and
yes,
the most number of times in the next
correct,
48 hours,
correct.
okay, will get assigned the whole books, the whole series,
All four series,
the whole series.
and a tote bag and some coloring books and some little things I'm going to put in there. That's all honey cake affiliated.
Ooh, that's
Little swag bag as
awesome.
my gift, because
That's
kindness. I always end the day with kindness. Give back, pay it forward.
amazing. Thank you, Medea. Thank you. You heard the woman. Uh, that's awesome. I can just see. I can just see that your books can literally change lives. Like, it will affect future generations. because now a whole new generation of kids with these ideals and these life skills will grow up to become adults, and they won't have the same struggles as their parents did, and they will raise better generation. That's such a beautiful thing. Thank you so much. I always have great appreciation for people, individuals who really care so much about the lives of kids, you know, because that's where life starts, you know, as a kid.
That's right.
No, so I mean, awesome. I want to thank my mom for watching.
Hi, Mama.
My dear friend Patty Day, who is such a support. She's always supporting my shows.
Thank you. Really, Mom knew. To all the Persians out there.
Thank you so much, Medea. Any last words, my dear friend, before we say goodbye?
Really, basically all just, just live your life with love for yourself and for all humanity, and just be kind. Just be kind. It's so easy to do. That's it. That's my final word. Just the way to be. Kindness is a gift we can all afford to give. Just to shift the universe in the right direction, and starting with our children, teach them these valuable lessons and tools, and let's make a movement towards a better tomorrow, because we need it. Kindness is needed and love is needed all around the world. And I love you all.
Medea, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us your time today, and your generous in the generous way you shared your knowledge. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the love you bring to the world, and the kindness. You're such a light in this world. Thank you. I appreciate knowing you. Also, I appreciate everyone who watched us today. Tuned in.
Thank you for. I know it's Father's Day. I appreciate you taking the time. I hope they're watching with you, because they're part of this too. We all need our families together. So because that's what it's about. We're a family of spices. We're all honey cakes, and I love you all.
Family is everything. And with that, I want to thank everybody who tuned in and who will tune in. Don't forget, if you share this podcast the most number of times in the next 48 hours, you will get a signed series of the Honey Cake book series signed by Medea. And that's her gift. That's her gift. Thanks so much. Thanks for doing your part to make this a better world, Medea.
Thank you for doing your part, for making this, giving me this platform to share my story and give my voice. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. I'm living my passion.
Yeah. That's the best thing. You can see it. See how joyful you are?
And with that, this is Dela, hoping to spark your soul. Stay safe. Till next time. Bye-bye.